I appreciate you taking the time to hear my story. My name is Robert Hayes, and what happened last Thanksgiving changed everything I thought I knew about family. Right then, standing in my empty dining room staring at 15 place settings that would never be used, I decided I had to teach them a lesson they'd never forget. Let me back up a bit. I'm 64 years old, been a widower for 7 years now since my wife Patricia lost her battle with breast cancer. Those first few years after she passed were the hardest of my life. The house felt too big, too quiet, too full of memories, but I had my kids. 4 wonderful children, or so I thought. There was Marcus, my oldest, at 41, a corporate lawyer in downtown Portland. Then Rebecca, at 38, married to a tech entrepreneur. My son Tyler, 35, worked in real estate. And my baby, Nicole, just turned 32 last month, teaching elementary school. Patricia and I raised them in this house. A beautiful 4-bedroom craftsman we bought back in 1985 for $78,000. Now it's worth over $600,000, right here in southeast Portland. Every room holds a memory. The kitchen where Patricia taught Rebecca to make her famous pecan pie. The backyard where I built a treehouse for Marcus and Tyler. The living room where we spent countless Christmas mornings, Thanksgivings, Easter dinners. After Patricia died, I threw myself into staying connected with my kids. I learned to cook, really cook, not just grill burgers. Took classes at the community center, watched YouTube videos. I wanted to keep our family traditions alive. Wanted to be the kind of father and grandfather my kids and grandkids would want to be around. I wasn't going to be one of those elderly parents who just faded into the background, waiting for occasional duty visits. For the past 6 years, I've hosted every major holiday. Thanksgiving was always my favorite. I'd spend days preparing, making sure every dish was perfect. Marcus loved my herb-roasted turkey. Rebecca couldn't get enough of my cornbread stuffing with sage and cranberries. Tyler always requested my bourbon-glazed yams. And Nicole, my sweet Nicole. She loved everything. Always helped me in the kitchen. Always made sure to bring fresh flowers for the table. Or at least, that's what I thought. This year, I started planning Thanksgiving in early October. I know that sounds excessive, but I wanted it to be special. I'm on a fixed income now. My pension from 32 years as a high school history teacher plus Social Security comes out to about $2,800 a month. Not a fortune, but I manage. I budgeted $450 for this Thanksgiving dinner. That's a lot for me, nearly a sixth of my monthly income. But family is worth it, right? I made lists, drew up a seating chart, ordered a 22-pound organic turkey from the fancy butcher shop on Hawthorne, bought fresh cranberries to make Patricia's cranberry orange relish from scratch, splurged on good wine, both red and white, made sure to get sparkling cider for the 7 grandkids, ages 3 to 14. The week before Thanksgiving, I started my prep work. Monday, I deep cleaned the house, scrubbing floors I'd let go for too long, dusting ceiling fans, polishing the dining room table until it gleamed. Tuesday, I went grocery shopping, filling my cart with everything I needed. The cashier, a young woman named Amanda, smiled at me and said, "Someone's having a big Thanksgiving." I beamed with pride. My 4 kids and their families. 15 people total, she'd said. "That's beautiful. They're lucky to have you." I held on to those words. Wednesday morning, I started on the dishes that could be made ahead. The cornbread for the stuffing, the pie crusts. I made 3 pies, pecan, apple, and pumpkin. By Wednesday afternoon, my kitchen smelled like heaven. I was exhausted but happy, the kind of tired that comes from doing something you love for people you love. That's when my phone buzzed. I almost didn't look at it. My hands were covered in pie dough, but something made me wipe them off and check. It was a notification from the family group chat, the one we'd had for years, called Hayes Family. I smiled, expecting maybe someone asking what time to arrive, or what they could bring. But when I opened it, my stomach dropped. The message wasn't in Hayes Family. It was in a chat I'd never seen before, called Hayes Kids Only. And somehow, Nicole, my sweet Nicole, had accidentally added me to it. Maybe her finger slipped. Maybe she meant to send something to the main family chat. I don't know. But there I was, added to a conversation I was never meant to see. My hand started shaking as I scrolled up, reading through weeks, no, Months of messages. October 15th. Marcus, anyone actually planning to do Dad's Thanksgiving thing this year? Sarah's parents invited us to their place in Bend. Way more relaxing. Rebecca, God, I know. Last year was so much. Dad gets so weird about the seating chart and his traditions. Plus, the food is honestly kind of bland. Don't tell him I said that, lol. Tyler. I'm trying to figure out how to get out of it. Jen wants to do Friendsgiving with her work people. More fun, less guilt. Nicole, you guys are terrible. But also, yeah, it is a lot. He texted me 5 times yesterday about whether I'm bringing rolls or biscuits. I was like, Dad, I don't care. You decide. Marcus, he's gotten so clingy since Mom died. Like, we get it, you're lonely, but we have our own lives now. I stopped reading. Sat down at my kitchen table, still covered in flour and pie tins. Stared at my phone. Told myself maybe I was misunderstanding. Maybe this was just venting, the kind of thing everyone does. But I kept reading. November 3rd. Rebecca. Okay, so I brought up maybe skipping this year and doing our own thing with Dan's family. Dad literally teared up on FaceTime. Full guilt trip mode. Tyler. Classic dad move. Remember when I missed Easter because of that work trip and he didn't talk to me for 2 weeks? Marcus. He's gotten worse. Sarah says we need to set boundaries, but honestly, it's easier to just show up for a few hours. Nicole. I feel bad, though. He's all alone in that big house, and he tries so hard with the cooking. Rebecca. Nicole, you can't save him from being lonely. That's his problem. We all have kids and jobs and lives. He needs to make friends his own age instead of depending on us for everything. Marcus. Exactly. It's not healthy. My therapist says adult children aren't responsible for their parents' emotional well-being. Tyler. So, are we doing this or not? Because Jen already RSVP'd yes to her thing, and I'd rather do that honestly. Her friends are actually fun. November 18th, 1 week ago. Rebecca. Okay, here's what I'm thinking. We all text Dad on Wednesday night. Super last minute. With different excuses. Work emergency. Kid is sick. Car trouble. Whatever. Too late for him to guilt trip us into coming. Marcus. Brutal but effective. I'm in. Tyler. Same. Jen will be thrilled. Nicole. I don't know you guys. That seems really mean. It's Thanksgiving. Rebecca. Nicole. He'll be fine. He's got neighbors. He can watch football. We'll do a makeup brunch the next weekend or something. Marcus. And honestly, maybe it'll be good for him. Teach him he can't just expect us to drop everything for his little traditions. Tyler. Agreed. My vote is we all bail. Who's with me? Marcus. Rebecca. Nicole. Rebecca. Nicole? Nicole. Fine. But I feel horrible. Marcus. You'll get over it. More wine will help, lol. I read that last exchange 3 times. Then I set my phone down very carefully, like it might explode. Looked around my kitchen. At the 3 pies cooling on the counter. At the grocery bags still unpacked on the floor, full of ingredients for a feast that no one wanted to attend. At the calendar on my wall where I'd circled Thanksgiving in red marker and written Family Day, with 3 exclamation points. I'm not a crier. Haven't cried since Patricia's funeral. But right then, standing in my kitchen, covered in flour with my whole Thanksgiving spread half prepared, I felt tears running down my face. Not sad tears. Angry tears. They thought I was a burden. Clingy, pathetic. My own children. The ones I'd worked 2 jobs to put through college. The ones I'd coached in Little League and driven to dance recitals and stayed up late helping with homework. They were planning to abandon me on Thanksgiving and laugh about it. I walked to the living room and stood in front of Patricia's photo on the mantel. What should I do? I asked her, like I'd done 1,000 times since she died, and I swear I could almost hear her voice. Show them what they're throwing away, Robert. Show them who you really are. Before we continue, let me know in the comments, where are you right now and what time is it? I'd love to know I'm not alone in this. That night, I barely slept. I kept rereading those messages, each one like a knife. By Thursday morning, I'd made a decision. I wasn't going to cancel Thanksgiving. I wasn't going to confront them about the group chat. I was going to let them execute their little plan, and then I was going to show them exactly what kind of man their father really was. I spent Wednesday morning finishing my preparations like nothing had happened. The turkey went into the brine, the yams got prepped, the table got set with Patricia's good china, the set we'd received as a wedding gift 43 years ago. 15 place settings, cloth napkins, fresh flowers in the centerpiece, name cards at each seat in my careful handwriting. Marcus, Sarah, their 3 kids. Rebecca, Dan, their 2 kids. Tyler, Jen, Nicole. Around 2 p.m. Wednesday, right on schedule, the texts started coming in. Marcus: Dad, I'm so sorry. Huge work emergency. Client crisis. Have to fly to Seattle tonight. Won't make it tomorrow. Rain check? An hour later. Rebecca: Dad, bad news. Emma woke up with a stomach bug. Can't risk getting everyone sick. We'll have to skip this year. So sorry. Then Tyler: Hey Pops. Car trouble. Transmission is shot. Shop can't look at it until Friday. No way to get there tomorrow. My bad. I responded to each one the same way. I understand. Take care. Only Nicole didn't text. I knew she felt too guilty. She just went silent, hoping I wouldn't notice her absence among all the others. By Wednesday evening, my house was quiet. The turkey was ready to go in the oven at 6 a.m. The dining room looked like a magazine spread, and I was completely, utterly alone. That's when I made the calls. First, I called KA2 News, the local Portland station. Asked to speak to someone about a human interest story. Got transferred to a producer named Jennifer. I told her, very calmly, that I was a retired teacher who'd spent his entire Social Security check preparing Thanksgiving dinner for 15 family members, and every single one had canceled at the last minute. Would they be interested in a story about holiday loneliness among the elderly? Jennifer was quiet for a moment. Then she said, Mr. Hayes, I'd like to send a reporter and cameraman to your house tomorrow morning. Would that be okay? That would be just fine, I said. Next, I called my church, St. Michael's Episcopal, where I'd been a member for 38 years. Asked if they knew anyone who might be spending Thanksgiving alone and would like a home-cooked meal. Father Tom said he'd make some calls. Then I posted on our neighborhood Facebook group, Sunnyside Neighbors, retired teacher here. Made way too much food for Thanksgiving. Free home-cooked dinner tomorrow at noon for anyone who'd otherwise be alone. All welcome. No need to bring anything but yourself. By 10 p.m. Wednesday, I had 12 responses. People I'd never met, all grateful for the invitation. A widow named Dorothy from 3 blocks over. A young couple, refugees from Syria, new to Portland. A veteran named Jim who'd lost touch with his family. A single mother with 2 kids whose family lived across the country. College students too broke to fly home. An elderly Japanese man whose children lived in California. I went to bed that night with a strange sense of peace. They thought I had nothing without them. Tomorrow, I'd prove them wrong. Thanksgiving morning, I woke up at 5 a.m., put the turkey in the oven, started on the sides. At 9 a.m. sharp, the doorbell rang. Jennifer from KA2 News stood there with a cameraman named Carlos. Mr. Hayes, she said, shaking my hand. Thank you for letting us tell your story. I gave them a tour of my dining room, let them film the 15 place settings, the name cards for family members who weren't coming. Carlos got a close-up of my grandchildren's names on the cards. Jennifer asked me gentle questions about my wife, about my kids, about how it felt to spend Thanksgiving alone. I'm not alone, I corrected her. I've invited my community. Family is who shows up, not who shares your blood. That quote, I later learned, got used in every promo for the segment. At 11:45, my guests started arriving. Dorothy brought a bottle of wine, despite me saying not to bring anything. The Syrian couple, Amir and Layla, brought baklava. Jim the veteran showed up in his old dress uniform, standing straight despite the cane. The single mother, Keisha, arrived with her 2 kids, ages 6 and 8, who were shy until I showed them Patricia's old collection of snow globes. By noon, my house was full of laughter, strangers becoming friends, the college kids helping me in the kitchen, the elderly Japanese man, Mr. Tanaka, telling stories about Thanksgiving during his first year in America. Keisha's kids playing with the snow globes while their mother relaxed for the first time in weeks. Carlos filmed everything. Jennifer conducted interviews. How does it feel to be here? What do you think about Mr. Hayes opening his home? Every person said some version of the same thing. He's a blessing. This is what Thanksgiving should be. We sat down to eat at 1 p.m. 15 people around my table, but not the 15 I'd planned for. Before we ate, I said grace, something Patricia always insisted on. Lord, thank you for this food, for this day, and for the gift of community. Thank you for these wonderful people who remind me that family is built, not born. Amen. Amen, echoed around the table. The food was perfect. The turkey was moist. The stuffing was flavorful. Rebecca was wrong. My cooking wasn't bland. It was full of love. And these people, these strangers, they tasted it. They had seconds, thirds. They laughed. They shared stories. Dorothy cried happy tears, said it was her first real Thanksgiving since her husband died. Amir said it reminded him of gatherings in Damascus before the war. At 3 p.m., Jennifer wrapped up filming. Mr. Hayes, this is going to air on the 5 o'clock news. Is that okay? That's fine, I said. The truth should be told. After my guests left, each one hugging me, thanking me, promising to stay in touch, I cleaned up, washed dishes, put away leftovers, sat in my living room with a cup of coffee, and waited. At 5:03 p.m., my phone started buzzing. The news segment aired. I didn't watch it, but I knew because suddenly my phone was exploding. Text after text, call after call, but not from who you'd think. Patricia's old book club friends. Robert, we just saw you on the news. So proud of you. My neighbor Bill, from across the street. Bob, I had no idea. You should have called me. I'd have come over. Father Tom. Robert, the whole congregation is talking about your kindness. Well done. Then, at 5:17 p.m., my phone rang. Marcus. I let it ring. He called again. I let it ring. He texted, Dad, call me right now. Rebecca texted, Dad, please pick up. We need to talk. Tyler. Pops, what the hell is on the news? Nicole. Daddy, I'm so sorry. I'm coming over right now. I turned my phone to silent, sat in the quiet of my living room, Patricia's photo watching over me, and felt something I hadn't felt in 7 years. Powerful. The doorbell started ringing at 6:15 p.m. I didn't answer. Through the window, I could see Marcus's Mercedes, then Rebecca's Tesla, then Tyler's truck, then Nicole's Honda, all 4 of them, standing on my porch, ringing the bell, knocking, calling my name. Dad, we know you're in there. Please, we just want to talk. Dad, open the door. I sat in my armchair and sipped my coffee. They stayed for 20 minutes. Then they left. More texts flooded in. Marcus. Dad, we saw the news. We can explain. Rebecca. It's not what it looked like. Please let us come in. Tyler. Pops, I'm sorry. We messed up. Can we talk? Nicole. Daddy, please. I feel terrible. I love you. That night, I slept better than I had in years. Friday morning, I had an appointment I'd made 2 weeks ago, after reading that group chat but before the news segment. At 10 a.m., I walked into the offices of Patterson and Associates, attorneys at law. Eleanor Patterson had handled Patricia's will years ago. She stood when I entered, shook my hand with her firm grip. Robert, good to see you. What can I do for you? I need to update my will, I said. We sat down. I explained what I wanted. Eleanor took notes, her expression carefully neutral, professionally so. Robert, I have to ask, are you certain about this? It's quite comprehensive. I've never been more certain of anything. And you understand that in Oregon, you can disinherit your children? There's no legal requirement to leave them anything? I do. Then let's proceed. We spent 2 hours going through the details. The house, currently valued at $620,000. My retirement savings, about $240,000. My life insurance policy, another $100,000. My personal property, vehicles, everything. When we finished, Eleanor reviewed the document with me one final time. Your estate, valued at approximately $980,000, will be divided as follows. 40% to the Portland Community Kitchen, 30% to the Oregon Food Bank, 20% to establish the Patricia Hayes Memorial Scholarship for students pursuing teaching degrees at Portland State University, 9% to St. Michael's Episcopal Church, and 1% to be divided equally among your 4 children, Marcus, Rebecca, Tyler, and Nicole Hayes, coming to approximately $2,450 each. That's correct. And you want the scholarship to specifically mention that it's funded by their mother's legacy to honor her dedication to education and family? Yes. Robert, Eleanor set down her pen. They're going to be devastated. They already are, I said, just not for the right reasons yet. I signed the will. Eleanor witnessed it, had her paralegal witness it. It was done. Legal. Final. Barring any changes I might make in the future, that was how my estate would be distributed. Saturday morning, all 4 of my children showed up at my door again. This time, I opened it. They stood on my porch holding flowers, pies, guilt. Marcus in front, trying to take charge like always. Rebecca dabbing at her eyes with a tissue. Tyler looking at the ground. Nicole, my baby, actually crying. Dad, Marcus started. We need to talk to you. Can we come in? No, I said, but I'll step out. I joined them on the porch, closing the door behind me. Stood there in my cardigan, the morning air crisp, leaves falling from the oak tree in my front yard, the same tree I'd planted when Marcus was born. We owe you an apology, Marcus said. A massive apology. What we did was inexcusable. Which part? I asked. Planning to abandon me? Calling me clingy and pathetic in your group chat? Or only feeling sorry after you got caught on the news? Rebecca gasped. You saw the group chat? Nicole accidentally added me Tuesday night, I said. I looked at Nicole, who looked like she wanted to disappear. I read everything, weeks of messages. I know exactly what you think of me and my little traditions. Dad, we didn't mean Tyler started. Yes, you did, I interrupted. You meant every word. I'm a burden. I'm clingy. I'm lonely and it's my problem, not yours. You'd rather be with friends, with in-laws, with anyone but your pathetic father who can't handle being alone. That's not fair, Rebecca said. You're taking it out of context. Then explain the context, I said. Explain how there's a good context for mocking your widowed father for wanting to spend Thanksgiving with his family. Silence. Just the sound of wind in the oak tree, leaves skittering across the porch. Nicole stepped forward. Daddy, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. There's no excuse. We were horrible. I was horrible. I knew it was wrong, and I went along with it anyway. Yes, you did, I said softly. We want to make it up to you, Marcus said. Tell us what we can do. Anything. I've made some decisions, I said. First, this house. I'm selling it. What? 4 voices, shocked. I've already contacted a realtor. She's coming Monday to do the appraisal. I'm moving to a senior living community. Hearthstone Village, over on Division. It's one of those active senior places. They have activities, classes, communal dinners, a whole community of people my age who actually want to spend time together. But Dad, Rebecca said, this is the family home. This is where Mom, your mother is gone, I said, hearing my voice break slightly but pushing through. This house is full of memories, but it's also empty. I don't need 4 bedrooms and a yard I can barely maintain. I need community. I need friends. I need a life that doesn't revolve around waiting for my children to have time for me. Dad, please, Tyler said. Don't make rash decisions because you're angry. I'm not angry, I said. I'm clear-headed for the first time in years. I've also updated my will. I could see Marcus's jaw tighten. Always the practical one, already thinking about money. Each of you will inherit approximately $2,450. The rest of my estate, roughly $975,000, will go to charity. The Portland Community Kitchen, the Oregon Food Bank, and the Patricia Hayes Memorial Scholarship Fund for future teachers. Rebecca started crying harder. Marcus looked like he'd been slapped. Tyler just stared. Nicole covered her mouth. You can't do that, Marcus said. That's our inheritance. That's our... Your what, Marcus? Your money? Your entitlement? It's my money. I earned it. Patricia and I saved it. And I'll do with it what I want. I'm leaving it to people who will actually appreciate it, who will use it to help others, who won't take it for granted. This is because of one Thanksgiving? Rebecca demanded, anger breaking through her tears. You're going to throw away our entire relationship over one mistake? It's not one Thanksgiving, I said. and pulled out my phone. I'd screenshot some of the group chat messages, held the phone up so they could see their own words, staring back at them. It's months of disrespect. It's years of taking me for granted. It's every time you canceled last minute, every obligation you resented, every eye roll when I wanted to FaceTime my grandchildren. I've been a burden to you. Well, now I'm setting you free. Grandpa! The door behind me opened. I turned. Somehow in the chaos, I hadn't locked it, and Emma, Rebecca's 8-year-old, stood there in her pajamas. We were supposed to have a sleepover weekend. I'd forgotten she was inside. Emma, sweetie, Rebecca said quickly, go back inside. But Emma ran to me, hugged my legs. Grandpa, I don't want you to sell the house. Where will we have Christmas? Where will we make cookies? I bent down, looked into her eyes. Patricia's eyes. Emma, sweetheart, we'll still make cookies. You can come visit me at my new place. They have a beautiful kitchen, but Grandpa needs to be somewhere where he's happy, okay? But you're happy here, she insisted. Not anymore, baby. Rebecca pulled Emma away gently. Come on, honey, let's go inside. After Emma left, I straightened up, my back aching. Getting old is full of indignities. If you want to be part of my life going forward, I said, you'll need to earn it. No more taking me for granted. No more assuming I'll always be here, always be available, always be your emotional support or your free babysitter or your tradition keeper. You show up, genuinely, or you don't show up at all. Dad, please, Nicole sobbed. We love you. We do. Love is a verb, Nicole, I said. It's what you do, not what you say. Your mother taught me that. Maybe it's time you learned it too. I turned to go back inside. Dad, wait, Marcus called. Can we talk about this more? Work something out? I'm going to a pottery class at 2 p.m., I said. I'm busy, but you have my number. If you want to be in my life, truly in it, you know how to reach me. But I'm done chasing you. I'm done begging for scraps of your time. I went inside, locked the door, and stood there listening to them talk on the porch, arguing, crying, eventually leaving. That afternoon, I went to my first pottery class at Hearthstone Village. I'd signed up for a trial membership, testing it out before committing. The instructor, a vibrant woman named Susan who was 72 and fierce, taught me how to center clay on the wheel. I was terrible at it, but I laughed more than I had in months. After class, I joined some other residents for early dinner in the communal dining room. Met a retired firefighter named George who told terrible jokes. Met a former librarian named Margaret who invited me to her book club. Met a couple, James and Linda, married 50 years, who welcomed me to their table like I'd always belonged. First time here? Linda asked. Testing it out, I said. Thinking about moving in. Do it, George said. Best decision I ever made. Community here is real. Not like waiting around for kids who are too busy to visit. You have kids? I asked. 3, he said. Love 'em to death, but they've got their lives. I've got mine. We see each other when it works for both of us. Not out of obligation. Healthier that way. I thought about that all evening. Over the next 6 months, things changed. I sold the house in February. Got $645,000 for it. More than expected. Moved into a beautiful 2-bedroom apartment at Hearthstone Village. Donated most of my furniture. Kept Patricia's favorite pieces. Started fresh. My kids, they tried. At first, it was panic. Calls every day, flowers, cards, apologies. I accepted the apologies, but not the panic. I didn't change my will. I didn't change my boundaries. Slowly, something shifted. Marcus started coming by every other Sunday. Not because he had to, but because he wanted to. We'd have coffee, talk about his cases, about his kids, real conversations, not just surface pleasantries. He even brought his therapist's business card. Dad, I'm working on some things. About Mom's death. About how I dealt with it by pushing you away. I'm sorry. Rebecca took longer. But one day in March, she showed up with Emma, and we made cookies in the Hearthstone community kitchen. Just the 3 of us. Emma decorated them with too much frosting, and Rebecca laughed. Really laughed, without checking her phone once. Dad, I'm sorry I made you feel like a burden. You were never a burden. I was just scared of needing you too much. Like if I let myself need you, and then I lost you like we lost Mom. Tyler came least often, but when he did, it was genuine. He brought Jen, who I'd only met a handful of times. Mr. Hayes, Tyler talks about you all the time, about the treehouse you built, about coaching his baseball team. I'm sorry I never made the effort to know you. We played cards, the three of us, and for the first time, I felt like Tyler was showing me his real life. Not just the highlight reel. Nicole struggled the most with guilt. But she started writing me letters, real handwritten letters like we used to send before email. Long letters about her students, her fears, her dreams. Daddy, I'm the one who added you to that chat by mistake, and I'm so glad I did. You needed to see the truth. We needed to face it. I love you. I'm learning how to show it better. And me? I thrived. Pottery class every Thursday. Book club with Margaret on Tuesdays. Coffee with George every morning. Volunteer work at Portland Community Kitchen on Wednesdays. Seeing my donation dollars at work. I even started dating. Dorothy, the widow from Thanksgiving. We go to movies, take walks, share meals. Nothing serious, but companionship. Laughter. Life. The Patricia Hayes Memorial Scholarship awarded its first recipient in May. A young woman named Alicia, first-generation college student, wants to teach elementary school. The ceremony was at Portland State. All four of my kids came. We sat together in the audience. When Alicia gave her acceptance speech, thanking Patricia's legacy for making her dreams possible, I saw Rebecca crying. But this time, they were good tears. After the ceremony, we all went to dinner. My kids, their spouses, my grandkids, Dorothy, even some friends from Hearthstone. 15 people around a big table at a restaurant on the waterfront. Emma sat next to me, showed me her latest drawing. My grandson Caleb, Marcus's oldest, asked me about my pottery, wanted to try it sometime. Nicole held my hand across the table. Marcus stood up, cleared his throat. I want to make a toast to Dad and to Mom for teaching us what family really means, for teaching us that love is a verb. We lost sight of that. But Dad, you showed us the way back. Thank you for not giving up on us, even when we gave up on you. To Robert and Patricia, everyone said, raising glasses. I looked around that table, at my children, imperfect but trying. At my grandchildren, growing up so fast. At Dorothy, smiling at me. At my new friends from Hearthstone who'd come to support me. This was family. Not perfect, not easy, but real, earned. Built on respect, not obligation. To family, I said. The one you're born with and the one you choose. May we always know the difference and always honor both. Later that night, back in my apartment, I sat on my small balcony overlooking the community garden. My phone rang. Nicole. Hey, Daddy. I just wanted to say thank you again for today. For everything. You're welcome, sweetheart. Daddy, can I ask you something? Do you think you'll ever change your will back? I'm not asking because I want the money. I want to know if you'll ever really forgive us. I thought about it. Honest, real thought. Nicole, forgiveness isn't about the money. I forgave you the moment I saw you trying. The will stays as is because that money will do more good in the world, helping future teachers and feeding hungry people. But my forgiveness, you already have it. All of you do. You're my children. I love you. I just needed you to see that my love didn't make me weak or pathetic or a burden. I needed you to see my worth. We see it now, Daddy. I promise. I know you do, baby. I know. After we hung up, I sat in the quiet evening, listening to laughter from the courtyard below where some residents were playing cards. Patricia's photo sat on my end table, her smile forever young. We did good, I told her. We raised them right. They just needed a reminder. The story ended there, really. But life didn't. It kept going, richer now, fuller. I learned that being alone and being lonely aren't the same thing. I learned that family will take what you freely give if you don't require them to earn it. I learned that self-respect is worth more than money, more than comfort, more than keeping the peace. I learned that sometimes the greatest gift you can give your children is showing them you don't need them to survive. You want them, you love them, but you don't need them. That distinction, that boundary, it saved us all. And every Thanksgiving now, we rotate. 1 year at Marcus's, 1 year at Rebecca's, 1 year at Tyler's, 1 year at Nicole's, and 1 year right here at Hearthstone Village, where my kids serve dinner to seniors who don't have family nearby. Where Emma and Caleb and all my grandchildren learn that family is about showing up, about service, about love as a verb. My kids still stumble sometimes. Old habits die hard. But they catch themselves now. They show up. They call not out of guilt, but because they want to hear my voice. They introduce me to their friends not as a duty, but with pride. And me? I wake up every morning in my small apartment, surrounded by my pottery attempts and Margaret's book recommendations and photos of family, old and new. I make coffee. I call George. I plan my day around pottery or volunteering or a date with Dorothy or a visit from my grandkids. I wake up knowing my worth, knowing I am loved, not needed, knowing I built a life that doesn't depend on anyone's approval. That's the lesson I wanted to teach. That's the story I wanted to tell. And if you're listening to this, wondering if you're too old to stand up for yourself, too late to set boundaries, too far gone to demand better, you're not. It's never too late. Your worth isn't determined by how much your family wants you around. It's determined by how much you want yourself around. So stand up, set the boundary, do the hard thing. You might just save everyone in the process. Thank you for listening to this story. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Have you ever had to teach your family about boundaries? How did it go? Share your story below. This is Robert Hayes, reminding you that family is who shows up, and love is what you do. Until next time.